Why do you cry when you're angry, not just sad? Picture this. You're in the middle of an argument. You're not sad. You're furious. Your jaw is tight. Your hands are shaking a little. You're trying to get your point across. And then your eyes betray you. Tears. Right when you wanted to sound strong. You wanted fire. You got flooding instead. And here's the part nobody says out loud. You probably felt embarrassed the second it happened. Like the tears were undoing you. Like they made you look weak or unstable, or like you couldn't be taken seriously. That fear is the real thing going on here. Not the crying itself, the shame about what the crying means about you. Here's the truth. This is incredibly common. It's not a flaw in your personality. It's not proof you're too emotional. It happens to calm people, confident people, people who are furious and articulate on the inside and leaking tears on the outside. Once you understand why it happens, you get to stop fearing it. Let's look at what's really happening.
There are two things happening at once when anger turns into tears. The first is physiological. Anger is a high arousal emotion. Your body doesn't process angry and sad through completely separate channels. It processes intensity. When your nervous system gets flooded past a certain point, cortisol and adrenaline spike fast. Your heart rate climbs, and your body starts looking for a release valve. Crying is one of the fastest ways your body has to bring that intensity back down. It's not your emotions confusing anger for sadness. It's your body hitting a threshold and hitting the eject button. Tears aren't a sign you're sad. They're a sign your nervous system is overloaded. There's another reason, and this one runs deeper. For a lot of people, especially if you grew up in a home where anger wasn't safe to express, where showing anger got you punished, dismissed, or made things worse, your body learned a workaround. You weren't allowed to be angry, but you were allowed to be upset. So somewhere along the way, your nervous system rerouted the anger. It let it out the only door that seemed safe: tears instead of confrontation. Think about the moment you're picturing right now. Maybe it's a fight with a partner, or a conversation with a parent, or a boss who talked over you in a meeting. You weren't crying because you were sad about it. You were crying because some old, deep part of you learned that anger has to disguise itself to be allowed out at all. None of this means you're weak or overly sensitive or bad at handling conflict. It means your body found a way to protect you when anger wasn't safe, and it's still running that old program, even now that you're safe enough to feel it differently.
So how do you stop the tears when you're angry? First, name it out loud, even just to yourself. Say, "I'm angry," not sad, in your head the moment you feel your throat tighten. Labeling the emotion accurately interrupts the automatic reroute and tells your brain the tears aren't necessary here. Second, drop your shoulders and unclench your jaw. Anger physically braces the body, and that bracing feeds the pressure that turns into tears. Releasing the tension gives the intensity somewhere else to go besides your eyes. Third, slow your exhale down, longer than your inhale. A slow exhale signals safety to your nervous system, and it's one of the fastest ways to lower the physical flood state that triggers crying in the first place. Fourth, if you can, give yourself a few seconds before you respond. Even a short pause, a sip of water, a glance away, breaks the automatic pattern and gives your body a chance to catch up with what your mind already knows. Finally, if you do cry anyway, let yourself off the hook. Tears during anger don't mean you lost the argument or lost control. They mean your body is doing exactly what it learned to do to keep you safe, and you're allowed to still be taken seriously with wet eyes. That last one matters more than any technique. You don't need to master your face to be credible. You need to trust that your anger is valid, tears or not.
You are not weak for crying when you're angry.
You're not broken, and you're definitely not too sensitive. Your body just found a safe way to let anger out back when it needed one. Here's the thing to actually take with you. Crying isn't the opposite of anger. It's just what your anger looks like when it's had nowhere else to go. Real emotional strength isn't a dry face during conflict. It's letting yourself feel the anger fully, tears and all, without needing to hide either one. If this explained something you've never had words for, send it to someone who needs to hear it too. And if you want more videos like this on emotions and why your body does what it does, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Whatever your face does when you're angry, it's not a malfunction. Be gentle with yourself anyway.